Hello, children, my beautiful, beautiful kids. We are back, and we are going to be covering Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Not the case, but what the heck is going on with the media right now? And more specifically, what's going on Twitter and what's going on TikTok? Because I see what y'all are putting out, and I'm scared. So Gypsy Rose, she just got released out of prison in December of 2023. I know I'm a little late, it's February now. I meant to release this video a while ago, but, stuff happened, and I'm currently actively ill. That's why I have sunglasses on. I'm not off that za, okay? I have sunglasses on because I'm sick, and I'm tired, and I don't need to see that. But, Gypsy Rose. I'm kind of mad that I'm late, because I think we all knew, the progression that this was going to take, of her getting released, everybody fangirling, everybody like, oh my goodness, Gypsy Rose, and then slowly everybody starting to turn on her, because I feel like that's what's happening right now, okay? And I'm confused because y'all were just on her side 5 seconds ago. Y'all switched up so fast. But Gypsy Rose Blanchard, if you didn't know, her mom had Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And so basically what that is she would make her daughter intentionally sick to get attention, to get praise, that. Basically, Gypsy suffered years of abuse. It was awful, it was horrible, and in the end, she ended up conspiring with her, at the time, boyfriend to kill her mother and, run away, basically. And so, she gets caught, sentenced to 10 years, serves 8, she's out. Media tour. Okay, so I first want to start with her interview with The View, because that was the first time that I saw, Gypsy Rose's, the first part, basically, of Gypsy Rose's whole media tour or whatever, right? So, her interview with The View was literally, fresh out of prison. I think they said she was, 3 days out at that point, or a week out, something like that. Fresh out of prison. And she goes on The View, and she is so eloquent. The fact that she went into prison at, 20 years old or something like that, gets out at 30, and goes on this media tour, and she's so freaking eloquent. She literally is so well spoken. She's basically not recounting, but telling her story. That's what all of this has been. It's her telling her story, right? So on The View, she was basically telling her story, and the way that she speaks about what happened and just her feelings towards her mother, which I can only imagine those must be the most complicated feelings in the world. She speaks about them so maturely and so eloquently.
Gypsy Rose, she was your torturer, she was your captor, but she was also your mom.
Right.
So when you think back on your mom right now, how do you feel about her? And does any part of you miss her, feel
Yes,
love?
yes, of course. At first I was really upset finding out all of these things that she had done to me, and just kind of the web that was going on of lies and uncovering that. I felt very angry at the beginning after my arrest. And then after 8.5 years, I've come to realize that she suffered a lot from mental illness.
And I mean, it really is just astonishing to see, because if you don't know what happened, what Gypsy Rose went through was it was really, really bad. And I didn't even know about some of the stuff that happened until I actually looked at some of the interviews that she's been doing, because I mean, if you haven't seen The Act, that's basically the story, but dramatized and made into a TV show or whatever, right? And that was my first glimpse of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, as I'm sure a lot of us, that was our first glimpse. And the show is great, but there are a lot of things that it doesn't cover or talk about, and there's a lot of things that I genuinely just did not know about when it comes to Gypsy Rose. So in the interview, she had gone and talked about how there was this one incident where she had tried to escape when she was 20 or something, and her mom caught her within 4 hours and basically chained her to her bed for 2 weeks, and she was only allowed to get up to pee and relieve herself in a bucket with little food, little water, and of course her mom holding the chain as she's going or whatever.
Well, I did try to run away, and I talk about this in the documentary. I talk about the first time that I tried to run away from home. Within 4 hours, I got as far as this outside of town. And within 4 hours, she brought me back to the home, chained me to the bed, left me there for 2 weeks. 2 weeks without a lot of food, water. I had to urinate on myself or in a bucket as she, held the chain. So.
And that detail, very much, I did not know about it at all. And I think that really sets the tone for how bad it really was, because I feel like a lot of us don't really know, like, how bad it was, because, like I said, the act didn't really cover it, and then we're only just now getting her documentary. But the interview, I mean, like, generally speaking, it's serious, it's mature, it's fine. But, bro, Joy Behar, or whatever her name is, the redhead, I'm sorry, I don't watch The View, but Joy, that woman had me gagged, bro, because tell me why, right? The first time I even saw this whole, like, The View interview with her was through Offensive Tea. It's a YouTube channel, one of those edit channels on YouTube, and oh my goodness, bro, they, like, did an edit for, like, this interview, and one of the clips, Gypsy is like, I really wish I didn't go about it the way that I did. I went about it the wrong way. I went about escaping, or not escaping, but, I went about getting away from my mother the wrong way. And then Joy's like, no, cuts her off. She's like, no, don't say that. Like, you didn't have a choice. And then, like, the freaking camera pans to her, we're like, girly pop, like, she's sitting here talking about the murder. No, guys, please. I'm gonna play the clip.
Please listen to me, heed my words, that you are not alone in this, situation. There are other ways out. I did it the wrong way.
No. Don't say that.
But I did. I did something wrong, and I paid my dues for it.
Oh, you mean that part?
Yes, the part of it, that part of it.
Where are you going with this?
No. So I did something.
Murder is wrong.
Yes, murder is wrong.
That was silly to me. But, like, in other interviews, like, the interviewers were asking her about, like, her and her husband, because, yeah, she's married now, which we're gonna get to. But the interview was asking her, like, like, are you guys planning on having a family? This was a Lifetime interview, I'm pretty sure. Are you guys planning on having a family? Like, how is he? How are you guys? Like, how's life? How did y'all meet? How did y'all meet? How did Gypsy Rose get a husband in prison? What? So basically, she explained that her and her husband met through a pen pal system through the prison, and Gypsy, like, said that she received, like, hundreds of like fan letters from all over the world, basically. But this one stuck out to her, and so she responded, and they became pen pals, and then, they started dating, and then they were married, all while she's in prison, though. And so at first, she said that her family was very hesitant about this, because, I mean, of course, like, she just went to jail for 8 years, and now she's getting released, and immediately she is getting married, or she is married, and, like, moving in with her new husband and all this stuff, right? And her family was, like, a little concerned at first, but over time, it seems like her family fully supports this man. And if her family supports this man and her, and she loves him, and the vibes are there, hey, who am I to judge? Because, listen, guys, I know that a lot of people are, like, up in arms about the fact that she's, like, dating or married to this man or whatever, and, like, a lot of people are like, Gypsy, no, like, he's no good for you, like, Gypsy, no, like, this is not the man for you, right? Y'all know she's 30? She's a grown woman. Like, why are y'all all up in her business like that? It's not that serious. If her family supports it, if she's happy and healthy, guys, she just got out of prison. Like, let her live her life. Dang. Like, I think another big problem going on, like I said, this is about to be a yap session, so I'm gonna be a little all over the place. But another big thing about this whole, like, media tour and the internet going crazy about, Gypsy Rose and her release is people are, like, trying to parent her and, like, baby her and, like, coddle her like she's still this young child who's being abused by her mother. And literally, like, her mom, I'm taking this out of Bose's video, her mom, literally, that was her whole goal, like, to make Gypsy appear as young as possible, to appear like a child, and basically to babify her, whatever that word is, to make her as a baby, even though she's, like, a grown adult. Even when she was literally, like, entering her 20s, she didn't even know her age at that point, something like that. And so the fact that people on the internet are basically doing the same thing that Gypsy Rose's mom did to her, maybe y'all should think. Maybe y'all should take a second and think about your actions, okay? But like I said, this woman is grown. Like, let her live, guys. Let her live. But moving on. Can we talk about the Instagram post? Because who let Gypsy write that? Who let her write that? Because on the one hand, I'm like, Pookie, live your life. But on the other hand, I'm like, some things don't belong on the internet, big dog. Some things don't belong on the internet. Please, I have to read it. I have to. Ryan, don't listen to the haters. I love you, and you loved me. We do not owe anyone anything. Our family is who matters. If you get likes and good comments, great. If you get hate, then whatever, because they don't matter. I love you. Besides, they jealous because you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Happy wife, happy life. And then Ryan replies, who said I gave a damn about what these jealous people say anyway? Haha. Now come get it, baby, please. I have to go because that should never have been posted. No, okay? But listen, for those people that still view Gypsy Rose as a little child, look at that Instagram post and then come back to me, because there's no way. And I just think that we should all treat Gypsy Rose like she's a grown woman. And also, like, when she's being silly like this, have a good little laugh, because I certainly am, okay? I certainly am. I'm glad to see that she's doing well. I'm glad to see that she is living her life for real. And honestly, I'm glad that she's not listening to the haters, you know? Now, on to the other side of things. Since I'm late to this whole thing, I'm so mad that I'm late because I was trying to ride the fun, happy wave. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you know, we all know how these things go. They love her and then they hate her. You know, I don't know why it always happens like this, but they love her, they're obsessed with her, and then they turn on her. And right now, some people are starting to turn on her. So some people think that Gypsy Rose's whole media tour was completely like just bogus. Basically, like, she is manipulating everyone into thinking that she's like this saint, and that she like did nothing wrong in this, and that she's just like, you know, whatever. And some people don't even think that she should be out of prison right now. And my response to that, guys, what Gypsy Rose went through was horrific abuse for years and years and years, okay? I'm not saying what she did was right, but what I am saying is that what she did was not cold-blooded murder, okay? I would say it was closer to self-defense than anything, but it was brutal, don't get me wrong, and it never should have happened. None of it ever should have happened. But Gypsy never should have been in the situation that she was put in. And so to the people that are like starting to turn on her and basically like saying that she's a manipulator and da-da-da, Gypsy was in the media all of her life. When she was a child, she was on the news, she was constantly doing interviews. I mean, she grew up in the spotlight. And I feel like a lot of people forget, like, Gypsy's case happened in like, what, 2013 or something like that? The internet existed back then, okay? It wasn't like it was the 1970s where the internet didn't exist and we were still on dial-up, you know? Listen, I know dial-up was in the 90s. But like, Gypsy grew up with the internet. She's not some like old lady, okay? So her doing this media tour, this is her in her comfort zone. She's comfortable in the spotlight. She's comfortable in front of a camera. And she wants to tell her story. She just spent the past 8 years in prison. I mean, just kind of recovering from her life, essentially, up until that point. And so when she gets out, she wants to tell her story. And plus, this is what she knows. And she needs to make money somehow. So, I mean, like, literally, I don't really know where everybody's getting this whole master manipulator thing from. But guys, I'm sorry to say, I don't think Gypsy is a master manipulator. I just don't think it. I mean, some people, though, were quoting, she did an interview, or she went on a podcast. It's always a podcast, isn't it? She went on a podcast where she, like, the timestamp was like 39 minutes or something, where she basically, like, she straight up says, like, I am not a murderer. I do not identify as a murderer. I did not commit the act of the kill. That was Nicholas Goldenjohn. And that's why he is where he is at now. But I am not a murderer. I did not commit a murder. Where earlier in other interviews, she straight up said, I am a murderer. I committed murder. I did my time. And now I'm here.
You started this conversation, you were referring to other interviews, and that one interviewer just calling you a murderer.
Yes.
Do you feel that way about yourself, or do you feel more as if that you're a survivor?
I don't associate myself as a murderer, because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it. I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
And so on that note, yeah, that was a little weird. That was a little strange, because I mean, listen, on the one hand, like I said, I'm supporting Gypsy. I'm here, okay? But on the other hand, it seems like she is trying to backtrack a little bit and, kind of clean up her image a little bit, even though I feel like her image is fine. Like, I think her image is fine. I think it was honestly just a mistake. I think that move was not like her saying it was a mistake, but that move that she decided to make was a mistake. Her backtracking and saying that she doesn't identify as a murderer, and that Nicholas Goldenjohn was the guy that committed the stabbing. He actively was the one that killed her mom, and that she doesn't want to be, identified as a murderer because of that is kind of ridiculous, because Nicholas Goldenjohn never would have killed Dee Dee if it wasn't for her. And plus, they were in it together. They were in it together, right? But she did say, she was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, not murder. On the legal basis, she's right. She's not technically a murderer. But, I mean, guys, come on. But all this to say, I think we should all acknowledge that Gypsy is a complicated person. She's complicated. People make mistakes. People aren't monoliths. People are not going to act how what a textbook says they should act, or how we all think they should act. People are complicated, and what Gypsy went through is so completely so far removed from the normal, that for anyone to go and say that the way that she's acting is not okay, or the way that she's acting is deceitful, or she's being manipulative, or whatever, how would you freaking know? Because who are you basing it off of? What data are you basing it off of? Nothing, because this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. It's weird. This case was out of the normal. It was odd. So what are y'all basing your claims that she's a manipulator off of? Hello? What? Y'all are being silly, okay? And listen, I think that the internet does this often, where they are supporting somebody, they're here for somebody, and then they turn on them. A perfect example. When a song is low-key, it's underground, the people that know about it, they're like, oh yeah, this is the best song ever, this song is so underrated, people need to listen to this and da-da-da. But then when the song actually gains hype and becomes popular, those same people are see, I don't even like this song, this song isn't even that good, da-da-da. Y'all are really gatekeepers, aren't y'all? But I think that's kind of what's happening here, where when Gypsy first got released from prison and she was doing her media tour, the original, in January, the first, breath of fresh air, essentially, everybody was flocking to her, loving her, oh my goodness, and then, of course, if everybody's on one side, there has to be some people on the other side, and so those people are just kind of becoming more and more abundant. But I still feel like the general population of netizens are still on Gypsy's side, because I mean, at the end of the day, she served her time, she went through the legal process, she did what she did, she got out, and now here she is. What else is there to say? So, to wrap up, guys, enough with the edits. I know that you guys are Still low-key kind of foaming at the mouth, but it is weird. I'm sorry. It's weird. The edits, they're weird, guys. As much as I think that they are so funny, bro. Oh my god, they're so funny. As much as I think they're so funny, like, guys, we can't keep making edits on people that are getting released from prison, because on the same note, are people making edits of actual serial killers and convicted murderers who committed cold-blooded murders. And, you know, I remember when that one girl, I forgot her name, that killed I forgot her name, I'll put it up on the screen, but that one girl who committed murder, and like the hybristophiliacs were going absolutely like feral for her. And like, you guys remember like the "oh, she's super the psycho" like trend on TikTok where people were making edits with that sound for, like, on her. And then like that one boy that killed a mom and her kid after like drag racing in the streets or something, and people were making edits of him basically praising him and being like, oh, he should not get like any time in prison, you know, like he didn't mean it, he's just like da, da, da. You know, people saying that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of vibe, like it's the same vibe, okay? Like when you make edits of people that committed crimes, no, don't do that. That's not okay? Because like I said, sure, Gypsy, she did her crime, she did her time, and we're all on her side because we can all understand why she did what she did. It's still in the same vein as the others where people have committed awful crimes and people make TikTok edits from them. So I think we should just like leave that be. I think we should leave that be, because the Gypsy Rose edits were getting a little bit much. They were getting a little bit much, and I think we should just nip it in the butt. Calm down a little bit. But yeah, all to say, Gypsy is a grown woman now. She should be treated as a grown woman, okay? Let her live. Like, let her live. I think y'all need to like back off the parasocial relationships and just let her live, okay? Let her live. As long as she's not hurting anybody or herself, I don't really care. And I think that's how we should all kind of approach these kinds of situations. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a silly little one. Hope you enjoyed the setup, which also, this is the end of the video, so if you want to go, you can go now. I'm just gonna be yapping now for about nothing, but hope you guys enjoyed like the setup and the vibe. I wanted to like, you know, come down here and like, you know, do a different setup than my last video, which was like a research intensive, like actual like case study or whatever. I wanted to like, you know, have like a little dichotomy there where maybe for reaction videos, like this will be the vibe, this will be the setup, and then for like my actual cases, I'll be like in my little desk chair, in my little desk with my little camera angles, doing my thing, right? Pray that I get better, guys. I've been fighting this battle alone. I don't have Miss Covey, thank God, but I know who got me sick, and if he's watching, I see you. And I'm mad, okay? I know who got me sick, and I see you. But pray for me to get better, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Swag Cup out.